Manchester United fans. Today is absolutely massive. Michael Carrick may have already decided his starting midfield for the opening Premier League game. Bryan Mbeumo is making a huge statement as United's new number 9. There's a major twist in the Lewis Hall transfer saga, and Marcus Rashford's future has taken another shocking turn. We've got all the biggest Manchester United updates in one video, so make sure you stay until the end because the final story could change United's transfer plans completely. Let's get straight into it. Michael Carrick might already know his three-man midfield for Manchester United versus Hull City. United's new season begins on August 22nd, and Carrick has a selection headache building in pre-season. Mason Mount has drawn praise after another strong pre-season performance. His form is not accidental. He ended last season strongly and trained individually abroad before United's official pre-season began, a routine he has followed for several years. Carrick has used Mount only in a deeper midfield role since taking charge, and the 27-year-old has looked comfortable there, combining accurate passing with defensive work. A partnership has also formed between Mount and Andre Santos. Mount said in Norway, "I've known Andre for a while. I've watched him from afar since he's obviously broken into the first team at Chelsea. I think he's a really good player. I know he's young, but he's very experienced in going out on loan and playing in the Premier League as well. He reads the game very well. He's a little bit more defensive, so it allows me to push on a little bit more forward in these last two games and work off him." Before we go further, if you're new here, this is Final Whiz, your home for daily Manchester United transfer news and match coverage. Hit subscribe, tap that like button, and drop a comment telling us who you think starts against Hull. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and it means we can keep bringing you every United story as it breaks. Mount also spoke about the defensive side of playing alongside Santos. "I think defensively as well, we're both players that want to get around it, want to put tackles in and win the ball back and be aggressive. So, I've really enjoyed it," he added. "It's a position that I've played for many, many years from a young age. So, I'm used to that in there. It's a position that I love and that I see myself in." Bruno Fernandes is due back at Carrington this week and is considered certain to start against Hull. The remaining two midfield positions remain open. Mount and Santos are currently the favourites, having been part of pre-season since the beginning and having built match fitness ahead of others. Santos showed early signs of rust in his first appearance against Rangers, but improved against Rosenborg and Atletico Madrid. United have 3 pre-season friendlies remaining, against Paris Saint-Germain, Leeds, and AC Milan. Yuri Tielemans will be available for the PSG match after reporting to Carrington last week, and Fernandes could also feature on that trip. Kobbie Mainoo will return later, having reached the semi-finals of the World Cup with England, and will be included in the squad for the away match against Leeds in Dublin. Tielemans will have 3 matches to build fitness and impress Carrick before the opening Premier League game, while Mainoo will have a maximum of 2 pre-season appearances. Based on current form and fitness, Carrick is expected to select a midfield of Santos, Mount, and Fernandes for the opening day of the season. Carrick relied heavily on Fernandes, Mainoo, and Casemiro last season, but the midfield now has greater depth, and another midfielder is expected to arrive before the transfer window closes. Tielemans, having reported earlier than Mainoo, is considered more likely to challenge Santos or Mount for a starting spot ahead of the season opener. Bryan Mbeumo started as a number 9 for United against Atletico Madrid and has looked more effective through the middle than on the right wing. This continues a pattern from the second half of last season, since Carrick's arrival in January and United's switch to a 4-2-3-1 system. Mbeumo has featured either as a centre-forward or right winger since then. He was previously used as one of two number 9s under Ruben Amorim following his £71 million move from Brentford, a role that changed after Amorim's departure. Of his 242 games for Brentford, 161 came on the wing, allowing him to cut inside onto his left foot. He resumed that wide role for Carrick in the second half of last season, but also played centrally at times when Benjamin Sesko struggled for fitness. Mbeumo offers a different profile to Sesko. He drops deeper, makes different runs, and links play rather than relying on height. Sesko is expected to take a bigger role this season but is still recovering from a shin injury that ended his last campaign early. In his absence, Mbeumo has continued to make a case for a central role. Joshua Zirkzee started United's first two pre-season friendlies, but Mbeumo's return to the middle pushed Zirkzee to the bench. Mbeumo scored both goals as United beat Atletico Madrid 2-1 in Stockholm, one a penalty, the other from a close-range opportunity, and also had a first-half header that went narrowly wide. All of Mbeumo's goals under Carrick have come while playing as a centre-forward. 5 in 9 games last season, plus the double against Atletico Madrid. He scored against Manchester City, Arsenal, and Tottenham in 3 of Carrick's first 4 matches in charge, then went 11 games without scoring, often being deployed on the right as Sesko took the central role. When Sesko was ruled out toward the end of the season, Mbeumo started as a striker in the final 2 matches and scored in both. On his positional preference, Mbeumo said, "I'm lucky to be able to play a different position, and I try to give my best." Asked whether he would want to play as a striker permanently, his response was brief, "Depends on the games." Mbeumo has not yet played a European fixture at club level, but he is set to make his Champions League debut next month, potentially as a central striker. Manchester United are continuing to pursue a new left-back this summer, with Newcastle United's Lewis Hall among the players identified as a target. United currently have Luke Shaw as their only senior left-back option following Tyrell Malaysia's departure as a free agent. Hall has been linked with a move to United amid an uncertain future at St James's Park. According to Spanish outlet Sport, United have identified an alternative option in Racing Santander defender Jorge Sáenz, should the Hall deal not proceed. United would reportedly face competition from Barcelona for Sáenz's signature. United are said to be willing to pay Sáenz's €16 million, £13.7 million, release clause, an amount Barcelona are understood not to be prepared to match. Barcelona view Sáenz as a replacement for Joel Canel, who is set to move to Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal. United have completed 3 signings this summer, with midfield identified as the priority area. Andre Santos joined from Chelsea for £50 million, while Yuri Tielemans signed after United triggered the £35 million release clause in his Aston Villa contract. Karl Darlow has also joined as backup to Sen Lammens, a move that has led to speculation about Altay Bayinder's future at the club. Hall's own situation remains unresolved. He was linked with a return to Chelsea this summer but is reported to have turned down that move. Newcastle have sanctioned several major exits this summer, including Anthony Gordon for £69 million and Sandro Tonali for £100 million, while Bruno Guimaraes is being linked with a move to Arsenal. However, United's pursuit of Hall has hit a setback. According to reports, Newcastle have told United that Hall is not for sale, with the player considered an important part of incoming manager Miguel Almiron. Note: source material does not name the incoming manager directly beyond Matthias Gisel. Recommend verifying this name before recording, as it appears to be a transcription error. In the original source, Hall has reportedly been earmarked as a key figure in the new manager's plans at St James's Park. Marcus Rashford's future at Manchester United remains unresolved following his loan spell at Barcelona last season. Barcelona opted not to sign him permanently, instead completing the £69 million signing of Anthony Gordon from Newcastle. Rashford is now considering his next move following England's World Cup campaign. Fenerbahce, who have already signed former United forward Mason Greenwood this summer, have emerged as a serious admirer of Rashford. According to The Sun, Rashford features on a three-man shortlist for the Turkish club, alongside AC Milan's Rafael Leao and Crystal Palace's Ismaila Sarr. Rashford's representatives have reportedly already been approached to gauge his interest in a move to Turkey. Barcelona head coach Hansi Flick commented on Rashford following a pre-season friendly against Preston North End. "You never know what happens with players who are on loan. Our situation is not easy in that respect. But I appreciated working with him. He is a fantastic player and a fantastic person. The team will miss him. I will miss him, but that's life. This is something we have to accept." In the end, Anthony Gordon came in, and from my first conversation with him, it was clear he was excited to join Barca. "I'm really happy he's on our team." Rashford is not the only high-profile player being pursued by Turkish clubs this summer. Mohamed Salah has also received approaches from clubs in the country. Beşiktaş had appeared to be front-runners for the Liverpool forward on a free transfer, though Trabzonspor have since entered the race as well. In further transfer developments, United are reportedly prepared to battle Barcelona directly for Sáenz should the Hall deal collapse entirely, with the £13.7 million release clause making him a financially efficient option compared to a protracted Hall negotiation. United were also said to have been monitoring Sáenz's performances at this summer's European Under-19 Championship, which Spain won. Away from the transfer market, René Meulenstein, formerly Sir Alex Ferguson's assistant at Manchester United, has joined Stockport County as Director of Football Methodology. Meulenstein spent 12 years at Old Trafford across two spells, 2001 to 2006 and 2007 to 2013, helping the club win multiple Premier League titles and the 2008 Champions League. He departed following Ferguson's retirement. His new role at Stockport, who finished third in League One last season before losing in the playoff final, will see him work alongside his son, Ryan, who coaches at the club. Meulenstein joined Stockport after working as assistant coach for Iraq during their group stage exit at the World Cup, and has previously managed Russian club Anzhi Makhachkala under Guus Hiddink. Separately, Chelsea have confirmed that young forward Josh Akimpong, source names him as Genesis Antutu, recommend verifying the correct player name before filming, has joined Strasbourg on a season-long loan. The player has represented Chelsea from under-12 level through to the under-21s, and made senior appearances in Conference League wins over FC Copenhagen and Djurgården during the 2024-25 campaign. That's everything on today's biggest Manchester United transfer stories: Rashford's uncertain future, the twist in the Lewis Hall pursuit, and Carrick's likely midfield picture ahead of Hull. If you want to stay ahead of every update as it happens, make sure you're subscribed to Final Whiz.